What's going on, everybody? This is Garrett back with another episode of the Ask Garrett podcast. Once again, this is a series that I do where you can ask me questions about anything you want my opinion on, any topics you want me to discuss, or like I say, any questions that you may have about anything you're going through that you want me to help give you advice on. You can always email me at therealaskgarrett@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment down below. And like I said, I'll make sure I answer you all and get back to you, with the best of my ability. So this episode, we have a few questions. These are a little bit more personal. People are asking, things about me that they want to know. So I'm happy to answer this. Now we're going to kind of get into pop culture. I like talking about pop culture. Now, first thing off the bat, somebody wanted to know, because I've been hearing a lot of talk about it. Should they recast T'Challa? Now, let me say this. Chadwick Boseman was one of my favorite actors, growing up. A lot of his movies were very influential to me. One of my favorite movies of all time was Get On Up, the biopic about James Brown that he did. That movie, 42, the one he did about Jackie Robinson, a lot of others, man. Like Chadwick Boseman was really that guy. He was a great actor, and his career was really in a good place. And it was sad when he died. The world lost a really good talent. The world lost something special, when he died. And he'll always be respected. He'll always be loved for the work he did. But as it pertains to T'Challa, the character Black Panther, I feel as though the character of the Black Panther is too important to the overall story of the Marvel Cinematic Universe to just kill off, all because the actor who played him died. Now, some people say, they should recast him, in about 5 or 10 years. And I don't agree with that, because the story that they gave T'Challa was so powerful, and it was so integral to the overarching cinematic universe that Marvel was building. I feel as though, even though they did canonically kill him off in the Black Panther 2 movie, I feel like T'Challa himself as a character needs to be in this universe. So me personally, I feel like, yes, they should recast T'Challa, but they can do it in a graceful way. Don't just recast him and make it as if nothing that happened before was canon. What they could do, which they've already kind of set up the stage to do, is they could use the multiverse as a way to kind of explain how we got T'Challa back. Easy thing to do. They can go to another universe. It can be a universe maybe where T'Challa of that universe, he lost everybody. The Wakanda country as we know it is gone. Everybody but T'Challa is dead. They could do a scenario where they bring him back to come and rule the Wakanda of the main universe, and he can kind of have his redemption arc and continue his story there. I mean, it's a couple of different ways they can do it. For me personally, I feel like the cleanest way to do it would be the multiverse. So if that's something they want to do, then that'll be a great story to watch. But yeah, T'Challa, he's definitely needed. A lot of people make the argument of, look how many Batmans we've gotten over the years. Look at how many Superman or Spider-Mans that we've gotten throughout the decades, but we only get one T'Challa. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I just feel like, it's definitely sad that we lost Chadwick, but, we definitely need T'Challa. And also, I feel like by not recasting T'Challa, they're kind of disrespecting or belittling the work that Chadwick put into bringing that character to life, because he did such an amazing job with what he was given, that to just kill off the character permanently or to make it as if he didn't exist, it's like, okay, well, what was all that work for? When you have Batman, if Robert Pattinson, died right now, God forbid, but if he died right now, then what was that work he did for Batman for? You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't let Batman stay dead. Why are you letting Black Panther stay dead? You know what I mean? They could have done it a different way. where Black Panther could have been a part of the main story. But yes, I definitely feel like T'Challa should be recast. All right. So now another question that somebody had for me, and I was talking to a few people about this as well. Should they just go ahead and reboot the whole MCU? Now, I feel as though the MCU is one of the most successful movie franchises ever, as far as, dollar amounts, box office, all that. But it's been almost going on 20 years that this universe has been, continuously going on. And I personally like the direction that they've gone since Endgame. I've liked a lot of the movies. I don't necessarily understand all the hate that people have for the post-Endgame MCU. I feel as though there is a time when you have to know when to bow out gracefully. Some people feel like that time would have been Endgame. Once again, I'm glad we got the movies we did after Endgame, but I feel like the MCU is just time to go. I think Marvel is having a hard time trying to play catch up with a lot of these storylines and trying to remember, oh yeah, we used that character, in that one movie, we used that character in this TV show. How can we bring them back? I feel like they're spending too much time trying to make sure everything weaves together cohesively rather than just making good content. Sometimes they sacrifice a good story just for whatever project they're working on to tie in to a previous body of work. And I don't think a good movie should be held down by what the previous movie may or may not have done. I know, a lot of comic book fans, we want to see these stories and we want to see these characters continue, and they should continue, but I feel like it should be in a different way. I feel like the main MCU should be over after, of course they have their upcoming movies, Avengers Doomsday and, Avengers Secret Wars and all that kind of stuff. I feel like after those movies, and I think they already plan on doing it, but after those movies, there needs to really be a hard reset on this whole MCU. If we're going to do it, just do it all the way. I don't want to, have one foot in, one foot out. Get rid of everybody. All the characters got to go. Everybody gets recast. Everybody gets new storylines. Everything brand new. And I feel like that would be good for the MCU as a whole, and also for the fans, because us diehard day one Marvel fans, we've been watching it since Iron Man 1, or the Incredible Hulk all the way back in 2007, 2008. So we remember what it was like, and we remember all those stories and all those characters that were introduced. And it's a lot, bro. It's a lot trying to keep track of everything, all at once, and trying to make sure, that guy didn't say that, or he didn't do that in that movie, or she wasn't here. It's like, no. I would like, as a fan, to just start from scratch. I would like to just go into a Marvel movie and not have to worry about what other movie happened 10 years ago that ties into this and all this kind of confusion. Just start fresh, bro. Just give me a clean slate and we can all be happy. So should they reboot the MCU? Absolutely. Next question. This is a popular one. Denzel Washington or Samuel Jackson? Now, me, like I'm sure many other Black folk, whenever we hear this question, a lot of us immediately go to Denzel. A lot of us consider Denzel to be the greatest, the best Black actor of our time. You know what I mean? But Samuel was always considered like that close second. Like when you see Samuel, it's gonna be heat. But if you were comparing the two, if you really look at their body of work and you really look at, their style of acting, you might see, me personally, I would say Samuel Jackson is the better actor. And the reason I say that is because, once again, if you look at their body of work, first, I feel Samuel Jackson has a more diverse movie catalog than Denzel does. The reason I say that is because, you know, Samuel, he can do drama, he can do comedy, he can do horror or, you know, suspense, whatever like that. And he does it well. Like he can give you whatever character you need to make that movie work, right? And not only can he give you that character, but he transforms himself into whatever character he's playing. He doesn't necessarily make the character become him like I see Denzel does. Like Denzel, if you look at a lot of his movies, Denzel is just playing, it seems like he's playing a different version of himself, right? Like whenever you see Denzel, he doesn't really give you a whole lot of diversity or a whole lot of range as far as emotion goes. Like you don't really see Denzel do a lot of comedy, for instance. I think he might have only been in maybe 2 quote-unquote comedy movies in his career. I think the first one was The Preacher's Wife with Whitney Houston, and the other one, like I said, it's kind of comedy-ish. It was the two gun movie he did with Mark Wahlberg. I didn't see it, but based off of the trailer I saw, it looked like they were trying to go for a funny vibe. But you know, once again, like Denzel, like I said, phenomenal actor. You're one of the best, you know, if not the best to ever do it. But when it comes to acting ability, he hasn't shown us what Samuel Jackson has shown us. So for me, that's why I put Samuel over Denzel. And on top of that, think about this. Samuel Jackson, he is comfortable not being the lead in his roles. Like, for instance, when's the last time you seen a Denzel Washington movie and he was not the star, right? When's the last time you saw Denzel not be the main focus of whatever project he's a part of? Like Samuel Jackson, he's been all different kind of characters. He's such a actor's actor that, for instance, like a lot of people know Kill Bill. A lot of people have seen Kill Bill, and you know, directed by Quentin Tarantino, and you know, Samuel Jackson and Quentin have a long working relationship with each other. A lot of people don't even know Samuel Jackson was in Kill Bill. I think it was Kill Bill Volume 2, I believe. It was a scene when Beatrice, you know, the girl, you know, the main character, Beatrice was at the wedding rehearsal, and everybody was, you know, trying to figure out what places they'll be, you know, where they're going to sit. And it's a scene where Bill walks in and there's a guy at the piano talking to the preacher. I forget exactly what he was saying, but that guy was Samuel Jackson. And, you know, you can tell when he starts talking, but you can't see his face. Like, he's literally like in the background. He has his hat over his head. You can't see his face, but he's just talking. And I don't even know if he was credited for that role, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you would never catch Denzel in a role like that where you can't even see his face, you just hear him talking. You know, it's just like Denzel, it seems to me, he loves being the star. He has to be the star, you know, because that's where he shines, which is cool, great. You know, we love to see you, Denzel. But if I had to compare you, you know, who I would put, you know, best actor, I would probably go Samuel Jackson, just based off that. So Denzel, Samuel. All right, next question. This is cool. So it says top 5. It kind of goes back in top 5 favorite actors. Top 5 favorite of all time. Well, of course, like I just got done saying, you know, Denzel, Samuel, you know, that's off the rip. So if I had to choose a third one for me, I ain't gonna lie, I enjoy Tom Hardy. You know, a lot of Tom Hardy's movies I find very entertaining. So I would probably put him, you know, on that list as well. Tom Hardy. Another one, Leonardo DiCaprio. I feel like is a phenomenal actor as well. And if I had to go one more, top 5 favorite actors, I would probably go with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, I gotta say, I'm gonna tell you why I put Eddie Murphy in my top 5 favorite actors, because when it comes to Hollywood, you would be hard pressed to find anybody with the talent and ability that Eddie Murphy has. Eddie Murphy can sing, he can act, he can give you, obviously, you know, he can give you comedy. But a lot of people don't know, like, that drama, like Eddie thrives in that drama, you know, realm as well. one of my favorite movies that he did was a movie called Mr. Church, and in the movie, he's rarely making you laugh. Like he might have one or two scenes where he's like, funny moments, but for the most part, it's a very serious, dramatic role, and Eddie kills it. A lot of people remember seeing Dreamgirls. In that movie, Eddie kills it. Like, yeah, he can give you that funny, but the fact that he can make you cry and make you feel for that character is something that not many comedians can do. And even one of his movies, The Nutty Professor, anybody who remembers that scene when Sherman Klump is getting, in the first Nutty Professor movie, Sherman is getting roasted at the comedy club by Dave Chappelle's character. Like that scene when, it's towards the end and they're just like zooming in on Professor Klump's face, and you can literally see the emotion and the hurt and the pain in his eyes and in his expression. It's like even through all that makeup that Eddie had on his face, like you still felt what Sherman was feeling. And not even like trained dramatic actors, not many of them can do that. You know what I mean? So for me, that was about, I have to put Eddie, in my top 5. And I ain't gonna lie, now that I'm thinking about it, I love Tom Hardy, but I'm gonna take Tom Hardy out and I'm gonna put Jamie Foxx in there. And I'm gonna put Jamie Foxx in there for the same reason why I put Eddie in there, because not only can he give you funny, but we all know that when Jamie gets serious, he can really give you that dramatic element as well. I don't have to remind you about Ray. I don't have to remind you about Law Abiding Citizen, but it's another movie that Jamie did. For me, it really solidified him in that GOAT talk. And that was the movie he did with Michael B. Jordan. I think it's called Just Mercy. In that movie, he plays a character called Walter McMillan, I believe. It's based off a true story. It's a guy who's on who's wrongly accused, and he's on death row. And he has to try to prove his innocence. But man, listen, when I tell you, that movie will make you cry. That movie will make you feel as if it make you feel like you on death row. You know what I mean? Because it's just like this is, and the fact that it's based on a true story, it really makes you feel as though it can happen to you. You know what I mean? And not to mention, like, there were another reason why Jamie's on my top 5 list. It's a movie he did back in 2023, I believe. 2023 is called The Burial. I believe it was 2023. It might have been 2024. The Burial, where he plays another man based on real life. I think it's Gary or Willie. Gary. I forgot his name, but he plays a lawyer in that movie, and he played that role. Listen, he played that role so good. That's what inspired me to go back to school, because I want to go to law school. So watching that movie really lit the spark in me to say, okay, let's go back to school, let's do it. Because watching that movie and hearing his story and looking at how good Jamie played that role, like I said, it made me want to do something. You know what I mean? So yeah, so my top 5: Denzel Washington, Samuel Jackson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx. All right, so now this one says top 5 favorite movies. Okay, so top 5 favorite movies. Off the rip, I gotta go with Whiplash. Whiplash with old boy from Spider-Man who played J. Jonah Jameson. I hate when I do this. I can't think of his name right now. But yeah, Whiplash, one of the GOAT movies for me. Ready Player One, another one of the GOAT movies for me. I gotta say Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino movie with Samuel Jackson. Hateful Eight. I would say Pulp Fiction. I'm gonna say Pulp Fiction for now. That's number 4. These aren't in any particular order. These just, my favorite movies in the top 5. So Pulp Fiction, and the last one would have to be, might sound cheesy, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Avengers Infinity War. That's my top 5. So Ready Player One, Whiplash, Pulp Fiction, Avengers Infinity War, and Hateful Eight. You know, like if I was on an island and I could only choose 5 movies to bring with me for the rest of my life, those would probably be the 5. All right, so next question, it says top 5 favorite TV shows. All right, so this one's a little tricky because, you know, I love TV, I love movies. So I have a lot of, these kind of questions are kind of hard for me. I have a lot of, you know, movies and, you know, stuff in my head. So if I had to choose 5 off the top of my head that I feel like are my 5 favorite TV shows, number 1 would probably have to be Breaking Bad. That show's the GOAT, obviously. Breaking Bad. Oh, The Office. Can't forget about The Office. Like I literally watch The Office, like every season of The Office once a year. All right, so that's 9 seasons. Each season has like 20 or so episodes. I watch every single episode at least once a year. So Breaking Bad, The Office, another one of my GOAT shows. I'll probably have to say Parks and Recreation. You know, it's just like The Office, just, you know, different cast, different setting, but yeah, Parks and Recreation for me. I love GOAT TV shows, favorite TV shows. I enjoy, see, it's this new show I've been watching recently. Well, it's not new, it's new to me, but it's been out for a while. It's called Superstore. That show is very funny. It's similar to The Office, but not quite. But yeah, the Superstore has really grown on me. So just off the top of my head, I'll put that up there. And for my last show, I'll probably say for the last one, just off the top of my head, favorite TV show, I'll probably say Snowfall. Yeah, Snowfall, that was an amazing show. You know, a lot of people, you know, debate, you know, which show's better, you know, Power or Snowfall. I mean, I've never seen Power. I've seen clips. I heard people talk about it. It seems like a good show, but to me, Snowfall, even though I've never seen Power, Snowfall to me seems like a more real show. It seems more grounded in reality. So yeah, for me, Snowfall definitely gotta be my top five favorite TV shows. So that's my list. Now next one, it says, how do you feel? It's a weird question. It says, how do you feel about Saturday Night Live? Now let me see. I actually watched the Saturday Night Live movie, Saturday Night. So it kind of showed, how the show began and, what led up to the first episode, which was cool. You know what I mean? Now for me, growing up, I never watched Saturday Night Live. I mean, I would see clips or, if I'm at a friend's house or whatever and somebody's watching it, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. But, I've never sat down and said, oh, I gotta watch Saturday Night Live. That was never me. Now, I personally don't think Saturday Night Live is funny. And it's just me. I respect what Saturday Night Live has done for, comedians as a whole and actors and musicians. Saturday Night Live is one of the GOAT shows. It's not my GOAT show, but it is one of the GOAT. It's how they call it, an American institution, right? A lot of the people who we consider legends would not be here without Saturday Night Live. That Saturday Night Live is a part of majority of, the entertainers that we know. So it's a part of their careers. If you look at any of those Wikipedia pages and you look down the line of, all your comedians and a lot of musicians, you'll see at some point they all were a part of Saturday Night Live, which is cool. But like I said, I don't personally think Saturday Night Live is funny. It's just, it's one of it's a corny kind of funny to me. it's funny in a way where it's like I laugh in my mind. Like I get that they're telling jokes, or I get that the situations they're in are funny, but I don't like laugh. Like I don't ha ha, you know what I mean? It's like I laugh in my head. Like if you could read my thoughts, like you'll see, yeah, you know, it's funny, but reading my face is just like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just me. Like Saturday Night Live is cool, but you know, it's just not something that I watch. Okay. Next question, it says top 5 favorite albums. So if I had to choose like 5 albums that I would die on the island, on the island with, top 5 favorite albums, and I'll tell you why as well. First album gotta be Carter 3. I really don't feel like an explanation is needed for that, but obviously, Carter 3 is, one of Wayne's best albums, if not, the best Lil Wayne album. And at the time, I was, like the biggest Lil Wayne fan. Like Lil Wayne could do no wrong in my eyes, you know what I mean? Carter 3, and on top of that, that album came at a time, that was very, integral in my life. I was in between 7th and 8th grade, so very impressionable, formative years, in a child's development. But yeah, Carter 3, one of my favorite albums. Next one would probably have to be, I would say, so the first album I ever bought was Tech 9 Strangulation Volume 1. That album was beautiful to me. I feel like, every song was perfectly crafted. Now, matter of fact, even though Strangulation was the first album I bought by Tech 9, I feel like I would have to probably swap that out, and I would put Tech 9 Special Effects. Special Effects was the perfect album. I don't know many albums out there that can do what Tech did on, that album. A lot of artists, they never make something like that. And the fact that, like I said, Tech, he had, the best features, he had the best beats, the best verses, like everything about that album came together. You know what I mean? He had a, verse from Wayne, verse from T.I., E40, B.O.B., 2 Chainz, Chris Calico be on every song. Yo Gotti. Wait, did he have? No, he didn't have T-Pain on that album. But I'm saying the whole album came together beautifully. And so yeah, I put that in my favorite album. So far I got Carter 3, I got Special Effects. Next album will probably have to be, for me, GNX. And the reason why I will put GNX by Kendrick Lamar is because obviously, that album came right after the whole Drake beef. And I feel as though when Kendrick made that album, he understood the assignment. He understood this isn't the time for a typical, Kendrick album where I'm trying to teach you something, where I'm trying to, get a, spread a message about, empowerment, whether, it'd be, empower your mind or whatever like that. Like, no, Kendrick is trying to make bops. He's trying to make stuff you gonna feel. He's trying to make something that's gonna get you moving, something that's gonna energize you. And I feel like he did what needed to be done on that album. So yeah, definitely GNX is up there on my list. Chromacopia as well by Tyler, the Creator, came out a couple weeks before GNX. Chromacopia is a beautiful album. And see, I'm one of those Tyler fans. I don't even call myself a fan. I like Tyler's music, but I'm one of those guys that I listen to like every other Tyler album. I think I started listening to Tyler, like the very first Tyler album I listened to from start to finish was Flower Boy back in 2017. That album was amazing as well. After that, he dropped Igor, I believe it was. I didn't listen to Igor. Then after Igor, he dropped Call Me If You Get Lost. I heard a few songs off of that, but then he dropped Chromacopia. Chromacopia is like a mixture of all those albums put together, and the way it came together is beautiful. I love the fact that, Tyler, he produces, a lot, if not all of his music. So Chromacopia is up there for me as well. And the last album, I would have to say, I'm going to have to go with College Dropout, Kanye West. I had to throw a Kanye album in there. Yeah, College Dropout, once again, is one of those albums where it's like, no explanation really needed, but it's Kanye's first album, and now, especially after watching the Genius documentary, and you see how he put that album together, and what he had to go through to even get to the point where he was able to drop an album. College Dropout is definitely special. Like, when you hear it, you feel it brings me back to being a kid and hearing all those songs on the radio growing up. So yeah, College Dropout was on there. So my top 5 favorite albums: Carter 3, Special Effects, GNX, Chromacopia, College Dropout. Now, since I brought up the Drake and Kendrick beef, next question is, what are my thoughts on the Drake and Kendrick beef? Kendrick won. Now, I understand both arguments. People argue that Drake won, and they give all these crazy reasons why. And a lot of people argue that Kendrick won, and they give their reasons why. But I feel like if you look down at the root of it, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because obviously it's been everywhere for the past year. But I feel like the manipulation tactics that Kendrick used were flawless. You got Drake suing, for Not Like Us and everything. But honestly, once again, like if Drake would have sued for a song, it should have been Meet the Grams. Like, there's no way I'm gonna let a man, make a song talking to my son, my mom, my dad, and my secret daughter, telling them all these bad things about me and how, he feels bad for them that, they're related to me, and calling my mom and saying, hey, you failed as a mother, and telling my dad, like, all these like, there's no way I would have been able to, sit comfortably knowing that he was able. That's like somebody walking into your kid's classroom, going to your child's school, walking into their classroom and say, hey, your dad's a bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, your dad's a bad man. Your dad let people pee on his leg. Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like Kendrick won. And like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. You can look online and see, all the different reactions to it. But yeah, for me, I feel like Kendrick won. He the GOAT. Now with that, next question being, do I still listen to Drake? So I still listen to Drake, but I don't listen to him the same way I used to. I feel like a lot of the mystique, and not necessarily mystique, but a lot of the appeal that he had is gone for me now. I used to have a playlist, full of Drake songs. I deleted a lot of those playlists, and I have like my main playlist with all my good music on there. I deleted most of Drake's songs, not all. I still got the bops on there. I still got the songs where he got those songs where just like, I can't stop listening to this. I don't care how I feel about him personally. This song is just too good. So I still got those on there, but I don't listen to Drake the same way. I can't tell you the last time where I listened to a Drake album from start to finish. I don't know. It's just something about that beef. It's something about, that time, seeing how Drake handled it. I was just like, I'm good. You know what I mean? So like I said, I still listen to Drake. I still think he's capable of making good music. But it's just different for me now. It's different. I can tell you this: any song he dropped after the beef, I haven't heard it. So right now my Drake is from 2023 and before. So no new Drake, none of that. None of that. So far that is all the questions I have for today, y'all. Like I said, I'm glad that a lot of people are reaching out to me and asking me questions, trying to see what's on my mind, how I feel about things, and I'm glad to keep giving it to y'all. So once again, if you want to, hear my opinions on things, or you want to ask me something personal that you want me to, give you feedback on, feel free to comment below, or like I said, you can email me at therealaskgarrett@gmail.com. Like I said, I'll get back to anybody. And if your question is good enough and I feel strongly about it, I'll even make a separate video just addressing you. So that's pretty cool. I've already done it before. So yeah, like I said, send me anything you want me to comment on or give my opinion about, and I'll get back to y'all. So like I said, everybody be safe out here. I know it's crazy in the world right now, but just be safe. Keep your head down and keep coming back. I'll keep giving you more content. All right, y'all, be safe.